Now, other interesting culture or political news, you have AOC calling for changes to the Supreme Court. Now, AOC is also known as Alexandria Ontario Auscardio Cortez, and she's also probably more known for being a bartender, where she actually brought value to customers because she would bring drinks, which is probably a lot more value than she does now. She's actually a proud, self-proclaimed socialist, which, man, she should go to Cuba for a couple days, or Venezuela for a couple days. Just to, if you really love socialism, might get some first-hand experience in it, and let me know what you think. There's the reason our families don't go back there. Now, she claims that, and you see this a lot from people in politics, specifically leftists or people on the far left. It's one of those things where you're playing a game, and as soon as they start to lose, they want to take their ball and go home, like a child. Which, in terms of intelligence, she would probably be on par with intelligence at most children. Keep in mind, we have the record low rates for history and math scores for public school children, so that's even more distant than usual. Burn, or as a youth might say in terms of a insult. Now, quote, when asked for comment, she said, "The courts, if they were to proceed without any check in their power, without any balance of their power, then we would start to see an undemocratic and frankly dangerous authorization expansion of the power in the Supreme Court," unquote. Now, I know saying she's as dumb as a pile of bricks or rocks is an insult to those pile of rocks, because I have a pet rock, and to this day, Rocky, if I put Rocky on a piece of paper, he'll hold the fort down. That paper isn't going to fly away if a fan hits it. And actually, if I tell it to sit there, it'll sit. So I apologize to the rock community right now. I'm sorry to the rock community. They are not as dumb as AOC. She is dumber. I didn't mean to insult Rocky or the pet rocks out there. You guys are great. Now, part of the reasons the Supreme Court is important is because it's supposed to be separate from influence and those other bodies of government. I know no one in America, I know very few people study government and history these days, which perhaps that's by design. But yeah, now that for the first time in my life, the Supreme Court actually has a couple of people they have more people who believe in the Constitution than not, which is pretty damn rare, which is why you're starting to see some of these rulings come back differently, as opposed to people just voting based on their party allegiance, which, again, that's why some people are put in there, because they don't have brains. They're just a rubber stamp, where they just go, oh yeah, the party wants this. Well, I'm not even going to reference the Constitution. I'm just going to say I'm just going to say what the party wants to say, which, ridiculous. We need more constitutionalist judges, in my opinion, who actually know what the United States stood for and stands for. But that's just my 3 cents. It used to be 2 cents, but that damn hyperinflation keeps getting us. Now, specifically, when she was asked, she said, in ending federal abortion rights last year and landing a blow to the LGBT protection in a decision on Friday, the court is signaling a dangerous creep towards authoritarianism, which, unquote. And again, saying she's as dumb as a pile of rocks does the rock community so injustice. I just continue to feel bad for that comment I made a couple minutes ago, because yes, everything she said is wrong. Like, it's it's ridiculous. Now, in regards to a big blow to the LGBTQ community, she's indirectly referencing the case in which you had a Christian faith-based web designer, and the web designer said that they would not want to design a website for certain beliefs that go against their faith-based ideological beliefs. Really similar to, you should not have to bake the cake if you're the baker, where you had that famous Supreme Court case a few years back where you had a couple go to, I think, 35 different bakeries until they found one that said they would not bake the cake for the LGBTQ wedding. The baker, people keep forgetting about this, the baker said he would bake a regular cake, but he would not bake a specific wedding cake, because that specific cake goes against, that specific case for that specific use case goes against his faith-based beliefs. And it is unfortunate that faith is at an all-time low in the United States. Hopefully that trend reverses, as I think it's a great backbone for society. It's worked for thousands upon thousands of years, and in my opinion, it gives people a great blueprint to be a phenomenal person. And in terms of politics, in Biden's defense, which is something you don't hear me say a lot, I do like to look at all sides of the political aisle And if something's good on, if someone does something that I believe is constitutional correct or morally correct, I will call them out and give them kudos or the opposite of kudos appropriately. Now, Biden has said that he does not support any changes to the Supreme Court, which I hopefully agree with. If you start to add states to the United States or add extra people to the Supreme Court or pack the Supreme Court as some, that would truly be authoritarianism, because you're just literally injecting your own opinion, and you're planting people in the Supreme Court for the sole purpose of getting your way. They're not putting people that, they wouldn't nominate constitutionalists. Let's just say that. If AOC had her way and she wanted to put people in the Supreme Court, you'd see people protest like they haven't protested before if you were to mess with the Supreme Court. Because again, it's supposed to be impartial. And you're already seeing, I believe it was after the Roe vs. Wade memo leaked, which in terms of security and accountability, we still know who leaked that memo. That should have been a huge investigation. It was the first time it was ever leaked. And ironically, because they leaked that memo before the public announcement from the Supreme Court, they kind of had to stick to what they were saying in the memo, because if they did change their tone, it would show that they were directly influenced by the mob, which you cannot have. But I digress. So Biden is saying that he does not support any changes to the Supreme Court. We'll see how long he's around. He's still got about the presidential elections right around the corner, and his health is continuing to deteriorate. And his colleagues are much more adamant about packing the court and cheating the system, as some might say. But, as I always say, time shall tell. Now, thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. We're trying to get up to 3,000 subscribers in July, so if you could take the time to click that button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. The feedback greatly helps the channel out as we try to get the production better and better and better over time. Also, don't forget to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.